Hello, welcome to Special Reports on ARCN Television. I am Amin Khadija Uluwatoyin. This edition is a coverage of the mid-year joint meeting with the Board of Trustees, Provost, Rectors and Working Committee members of Naten. Arrival of members. The meeting, which had in attendance the Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, Professor Hamidu Garba Sharubutu. The ARCN-ES, in his remarks, applauded the BOT and members of Naten for the efforts of making agriculture attractive to youth. The Executive Secretary spoke extensively on the need for desk officers and harped on the need also to attend meetings.
We want to thank you seriously. But we are thanking you also because you are part and parcel of the development of agricultural education in this country. Your organization has classified some of us, those of us that are not from the polytechnics, and those of us that are not from the university. We are governed by one of the divisions in your place, and that's the monotechnic. We want to tell you to convey our appreciation. I also call on some of our institutions to also make sure that these desk officers are also carried along. Yes. If they are not coming for meetings, please, let us try and squeeze the little naira and kobo to actually bring them along. The reason why I'm saying this is, what is happening either in this country or in other organizations is lack of succession plan, lack of those that have residual institutional knowledge. But if we bring them to meetings and they know what they are there, even if they are not the ones heading the institutions, they will have the institutional memory to put us right. Our systems are collapsing, not necessarily because we hate one another, but because the institutional memory is not being kept. If you like, when you take over your college or you take over your institution, you can change the person, but a proper handing over is important. I do not see as a possibility of a provost, handing over and be remembering the activities of Naten. But when you are handing over, when your tenure ends, and you call all the various officers and the desk officer of Naten comes to tell you and brief you what is good for the system, I'm definitely sure that our successors will always pay true allegiance to this organization.
Yes, we heard from the Executive Secretary of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and the President of Professor Sharubutu. And of course, also in the meeting, we had the Chairman Board of Trustees, Naten, Professor J.U. Mbada. Said activities of the network. She said it is working to ensure agriculture to youth through the use of ICT and of course the social media. She hinted that an online training will be coming up for interested youth. Of course, this, she said, they are going to leverage on social media handles of their page, as such as the Facebook, the Instagram, and of course their Twitter handles. Let's hear from her.
Problem now you are highlighting is one of the problems that we saw in agriculture that made us to form this network. And when we formed this network, we were actually mandated to go and make agriculture glamorous, attractive, and profitable. So, and in all we are doing is to find a way of making agriculture acceptable to the youth. Well, last time we had a workshop here, a very unique workshop, demand-driven, looking at what the society wants, both the society, the youth, and the industry. And that was the basis for that workshop. Today again, you saw us demonstrating about a zero post-harvest processing machine. So that machine, as you can see, can process a lot of produce into finished products. And this is a way of making agriculture even easier and acceptable by the youth. So, because initially people, students or youth think that for you to be an agriculturist, you must wear hold knife, machete, and hoe, and things like that. And to bring it to social media, that is why we are saying today that we need to bring agriculture to the society.
Also speaking at the event, the Executive Secretary of Naten, Newton also reiterated the network's vision of making agriculture easy and attractive to both the young and old. Mr. Ovie said this is the primary vision and mission of the network, and this, he said, is going to be followed to the latter. Let's hear from him also.
Okay, beautiful. First and foremost, you find out that as Naten, because we are primed on making agriculture glamorous and attractive, we are focusing on the media where we can relate to these young persons. We are on all the social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc. So our goal, if you listen to if you listen to the meeting, you will find out that the bulky courses that are being taught in the schools, we are working on streamlining it and putting it in modules that can be taught online for these young persons. Because for us, we are looking at how can we spin off fast or quickly a course, turning agricultural courses to agricultural enterprises. And we can use social media. In fact, we are utilizing social media to achieve that goal. In the very nearest future, probably the next meeting that you're going to be having, the next interview you're going to be having, you'll be seeing some fruits of this effort. Now, for the young persons, we started with the curriculum training workshop, which was demand-driven curriculum. Now, that demand-driven curriculum is meant to ensure that that particular demand within that locality, we develop a curriculum that will solve the problem, and then they can make money out of it. So now we move from that point now to spin-off industries within the institutions. Now, if these institutions are able to get these small-scale machines, you will now find out that the institutions will be able to set up companies, and these students will no longer go outside for CWES. They will now be adopted within the universities.
Also in attendance, the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Colleges of Education, in the person of Professor Chijioke Okwele, who was represented, reiterates its commitment in its vision to make colleges of education centers of excellence. It says agriculture is key, hence the need for all institutions to throw their weight behind this and ensure that their students have the knowledge and not just come out and look for white-collar jobs. Let's hear from him.
All of us are aware of the attitude of younger generations to agriculture, and that is probably because of the manner, the approach that we have, strategies that have been adopted for agric in the years before. But with Naten, the strategies of Naten, the modern technology they are introducing, the modern way they are producing it, is to make it attractive to the younger ones. And by that, don't forget, like I did say earlier in the day, that the younger generation in Nigeria forms the proportion is higher. So if we can make that realizable, at the end of the day, Nigeria will be better for it. So we have a situation whereby many more population will key into agriculture. And the good thing about Naten, in the short time that we key into the network, we have found them to be very dynamic. They are determined. The only thing I'm telling the NCC is saying is that if you look at the mandate of the colleges of education, they are to produce teachers for the basic education level. If the teacher educators in the colleges of education are brought into the fold, they reoriented them about this new development, it will have a multiplier effect on the teacher trainees that will eventually go to the primary school to teach.
Other members of the network also bear their minds on the problems and possible solutions to agricultural deficits in Nigeria. They believe If properly taught, the students who would come out of this institute should be able to sustain our food sufficiency in the country.
The purpose of bringing that equipment is to have a zero post-harvest loss. So what machine does is the processes over 500 different items or add value to it, and they all are agriculture products. Name the agriculture products, and machine will either add value or make the final products. So let's say tomato, the coconut, the pineapple, all fruits and vegetables, and also the herbs. So the objective through this machine is to prevent the loss, which is significant. Let's say even the tomato is 50 to 60% loss we are making after post harvest. Milk we are not even tapping, so the almost 80 to 90% milk we are still wasting. The resources are there, we are not tapping. Fresh milk means cow milk. Um, let's say the coconut, we can make many use of coconut. We can bring coconut oil, or we can make a coconut chocolate. Even the water left out we can use as a to cook rice, the coconut rice. Um, Name the products we can process through this machine. Irrespective of any terrain, we can make use of this machine.
With the coming of Naten, we are seeing that our job is getting much easier with their integration into the agricultural systems. It's making the job easier in such a way that the gap left is now being filled with the coming of MBTE, NCCE, and the Naten together with the provost and directors of College of Agriculture. I think we will end up finding solutions to some of the problems in such a way that the graduate will now come out with something handy. The curriculum is supposed to be demand-driven in such a way that after graduation, the students will come out with at least one aspect where they can make a living out of it.
Agriculture should be taken more into the ICT unit as well as other sectors. You can also organize all these online programs and all that, because I've seen several advertisements for it. Can even start from free stuffs, maybe free online trainings for youth and all that, because youths of this generation, we're no longer interested in physical exertions. So you can advertise online ways by which you can actually attain knowledge in agriculture, and even online trainings. You can start with free, maybe 1 week free training for youth and all that. You can also bring about you can advertise the benefits of going into agriculture. Most youths just see the work aspect of it, and that's what discourages them. But when they see the benefits of agriculture more than they see the work being put in, it will actually attract them. And this can also be displayed on the ICT platforms as well.
Well, I think it's much more than telling youths, but more so is planning and implementation. If you look at the agriculture today, how youth shy away from agriculture, taking it to be a kind of olden days occupation, a kind of drudgery occupation that you take whole, go to the farm, spend the whole day working under the sun and so on and so forth. Agriculture is much more than that. So our focus, when you talk about agriculture, the mind of people just goes to crop production. You go to the farm, you produce crop. It's much more than that. We have poultry, we have livestock, we have production, processing, and other things in agriculture. So what I want to say here, as I said, is much more than telling youths, but planning and implementation, making agriculture glamorous and attractive for youths. Let's have it practically for them to see what agriculture is all about, the value chain of agriculture, from production to processing up to the end users. This is what agriculture is all about. And if you look at it, agriculture is the only sector today that provides the highest employment opportunity. And then beside that, if you look at it, today agriculture is the only occupation that no boundary. Today, a medical doctor is into agriculture. A military man is into agriculture. A lawmaker is into agriculture. But the question is, why are you shying away from agriculture? Is why the agriculture must be presented to the youths physically or practically as a glamorous and attractive profession. If you don't want to take production aspect, you take the processing aspect. A very good example is that wara they use from soya beans. That is part of the processing. So must they go to the farm? Even the process, this is all part of agriculture. Poultry production is part of agriculture. Produce poultry, even the poultry dropping, packing them, selling them is part of agriculture. So you can see it's just to at least transform agriculture, present it to the youth. They can see it physically as a kind of attractive profession.
Remove corruption and have ideas. Let's start with the small that we have and see how we can build our system. If we say we are going to wait for funding to be adequate, no fund is ever adequate in the world. None. Let's use our ideas. We have all the eggheads in the institutions. They have attained all the heights, am I right, in terms of education and exposure. I'm happy with the statement the last speaker made, because one other thing that used to affect us is policy. Now something has been taken away from us that we have the opportunity to do ABC. Let's exploit that and see how we can develop the system.
High point of the meeting is the nomination of the BOT Acting Secretary and presentation of Farming 2 to the House.
The whole thing is timely, because with that machine, you can do so many things. I was thinking then when I saw, I'm an animal-based person, and I started thinking, I can make so many products, premix with it, because that machine can remove so many things out and bring what you want out, using different equipment that you place inside. I think in Malaysia I saw something, international packaging of baobab, the pulp, which is an antioxidant. And that machine, I was thinking, would do wonders in producing that. And we saw almost about 6 or 7 products out of it. Pasteurized milk, you can make yogurt. You can make this, you can make that. And the machine is stainless. And very simple, very easy. And I saw some of the parts can be fabricated in this country, like we rightly discussed. So I think it's a very good thing. And this thing, I'm saying it can be a retirement benefit for some of us. And also, we can look at it personally and do it. And like the Prof rightly said, we can come into cooperative within our colleges, within the community. And I'm even advising Naten also to have a facility that you can do this with. So that people can look at it and then, no, it's something. And you have the manual and you have the automatic that we saw. That the automatic, you can just on, regulate, and you sleep, you sit down. This is the little I can tell you, it's on the screen. Look at the machine. Stainless, very simple, and you know there is manual, there is automatic.
It is a simple, very easy technology from what we have learned.
Welcome and congratulations, everyone, for this opportunity to serve in this capacity. I promise to put in my very best to ensure that whatever needs to be done within this capacity that has been given unto me, I promise to do it to the best of my ability. So I appreciate and I accept the nomination and the position of the Secretary BOT Naten. Thank you very much.
That's it on this episode of Special Reports on ARCN Television. Thank you for joining us. I remain your host, Naten Report. Bye for now. Gotcha.